and welcome to the Booty Call to Bride channel. I am your girl, Michelle Tillman, and I've worked on tons of reality shows over the last 10 years in the Charlotte area as a production assistant. So I'm here to give you all of my 2 cents about Married at First Sight season 13, episode 12. Okay, that shadow's gonna bother me. Okay, so here we go, y'all. First of all, can I just say that this season is getting a little boring to me. So every time I'm having to stay up to watch it, I'm like, y'all got to do better. Give me some juice, give me something to stay up to. And I will say tonight delivered with Johnny and Bao. Hey, Kamisha. Thanks for watching live, girl. Make sure y'all give me a thumbs up, comment on this video, share this video. I appreciate all the love. So Bao comes in saying like last night was just bad. She realized that she's gonna have to romance her husband. She didn't mention anything about how Johnny felt or how things looked from his perspective. They just went back to the clip of last episode where he was mad that she said she cooks gourmet meals and all that, and he was like, she's lying, she doesn't do that stuff. So I'm starting to think like maybe that was some creative editing. Like maybe the way it made it seem was not right, because as we started watching the whole episode with Pastor Cal and all the things that came out later, I'm like, okay, so we all thinking Bao's up here being a huge liar, but maybe Johnny just doesn't see things clearly, because I'm starting to think that clearly there's something wrong with Johnny. So while Bao was cooking one of her gourmet meals in her Instant Pot, okay, I just got me one last week, so I know all about that. Yes, you can cook a gourmet meal in an Instant Pot. I'll actually say the presentation of the meal looked amazing. It really did. And then they started talking about like, well, what would you do if decision day was right now? Like, what would you say? And she was like, I would say yes. She said she's grown a lot and all this stuff by being with him, learned a lot about herself. And so they do a cheers to yes on decision day. And then he whispers to her like, I'm trying. And she's like, I know, I'm recognizing every effort. So I'm like, what was that about? Like, what was it that he was wanting her to know that he was trying about, as if he was the one who did something wrong and he was making it up to her? See, this is why I think it was creative editing. Now, I know all about editing. I'm telling y'all. I done worked on these different reality shows, and I'm like, yeah, y'all twisted that story up because something ain't adding up right. Like they must have had some type of off-camera conversation that they didn't edit in, and it just seemed like that didn't go, or either we don't know the whole story. So let's get down to the bottom of what Johnny's issue is. He's saying she wants credit for all the stuff that she does that he ain't asked her to do, or things that he doesn't care about, instead of what he actually wants from her. So the huge thing about this whole episode was that she was memorizing all the names in Mandarin to meet his family at this big barbecue for his auntie birthday. And then he decided, because they had an argument, that she should not come anymore, and that he just want them to start liking her and her start liking them and all this. So I'm like, okay, first of all, Johnny, you have a distorted view of what an argument really is. Just because y'all say something that doesn't line up exactly doesn't not make it an argument. It could be a disagreement. Like, I don't know what relationships he's been in, and maybe because he's been on 100 first dates that he doesn't even know what a healthy disagreement looks like. Now, back in my single days, like, I went on like, hey, Cliff, what's up? I went on like 27 first dates back in the day when I was single. Yeah, probably in about a month or two time. So I get it. I used to be you, Johnny. But brother, just because there's an absence of conflict does not mean that your relationship is good. And just because you have conflict doesn't mean that it's bad. It means that you are willing and you are working through your issues. So I Y'all let me know. Do y'all think Johnny is tripping? Like, to me, he like blows their arguments out of proportion. Like, I don't understand why he thinks like, oh, I just don't want to be with her. She makes me somebody who I don't want to be. Um, he said like at this point when he was talking with Pastor Cal was like, is there somebody else, Johnny? Because the way you making up excuses trying to get up out of this, it sounds like you got somebody else. And he took a little minute. And he was like, no, there's nobody else. I believe there's somebody else because this is the thing. She is a little off. Sometimes she's a little weird. Okay, yes, she's a little quirky. She talks in her baby voice and all that good stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, even your auntie was like, they matched you for a reason. And I know you want romance, but it's the day to day to day. See, the romance is good and that's amazing. And I know that like him and what's the other guy? Ryan want that like butterfly romance thing going, but that is not what sustains a relationship. But Cliff, I see you, I feel you. So I think the thing is that you're right. Like, if you don't have that initial like for somebody, it's kind of hard to switch once you like made up your mind. Like Cliff said in the comments, like he didn't like her in college, so it's gonna be hard for him to like bypass the fact that he never liked her, and now you want him to see her in that way. Even though he probably could if he really wanted to, he's way too anal. But the bottom line is that they got to it at the end of the episode, and I have like 3 pages of notes, if you can see, like on Johnny and Bao. Like I'm probably like skipping tons of it, but what I realize is that she wants him to appreciate her love language being presented to him. And that is honestly not how it works. So I'm like Team Johnny sometime, Team Bao sometime. But Bao, what you can't do is try to make someone want your love language and then be mad when they don't say, well, you did this and you did that. But that's not what I want. But at the same time, Johnny has to recognize that she is having a hard time giving what she doesn't need. And I've been that person before. It's hard to give somebody what you don't need because you don't understand why that's important. But that's a part of being mature. That's a part of being married, recognizing that, hey, this might not be my need, but I got to give them what they need. And if he is not feeling what he needs, it's like not going to happen. But I agree with Torres. Mailing. I agree. Johnny's focus on romance is weird. It's like he wants to be a woman. It's like he's in the woman's role to me. So it's like he's so obsessed with romance. Well, make the romance happen, boo. You the man. Make the romance happen. Why you mad? Because she don't want to romance you. So that's why I'm on Team Bao. So y'all, I keep bouncing back from Team Bao to Team Johnny because I'm like, you want her to want to romance you, well, romance her. Set the example and see what happens. Set the example, like be the man, be the leader in the relationship. Show her how it's done. When you do stuff for people, like romantic things, it's hard to not want to do it back. Like it's hard for you not to want to do when somebody like goes their hardest for you to romance you and sweep you off your feet. So I know I've been going back and forth with them, but I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. Thank y'all for who are on here live who are giving me feedback. So I'm just kind of like playing off what y'all say too. So anywho, Ryan and Brett. Ryan is getting on my very last nerve. Brother, if you don't quit playing and go ahead and tell Brett, sis, I don't like you. If you don't tell her you're not attracted to her or whatever the issue is. Now, I thought that maybe he thought she was attractive, but he was unattracted to her emotions, which is part of it. But he clearly said to his sister today when they met up, like, well, if she was a Victoria's Secrets model and she left her nasty stuff all over the bathroom, like they showed the clip of the bathroom looking all nasty, then I probably would have been smiling and washing dishes and not worrying about it anyway. So I'm like, okay, so it is physical. Now, I know men are physical, and I knew that from the beginning, but I was just like, he tried to like make it seem like, no, she's attractive and all that. but it's just I don't have the butterflies. You don't have the butterflies because you don't think she cute. Just say it. I mean, everybody has their own taste. You can have your own taste. You might not like how she look. You might not like her red hair, which is he said before. Like, so just be real with us and tell us, and tell her. He's like, so I'm gonna be awful if I don't have any sleep out here. I'm on the couch and I'm gonna be awful. Like asking for permission to go stay in the other room. So y'all like separated now because you in the other room because we already know you're gonna be on a little dating app. So just go ahead. Bruh, I don't know why he thinks he's been sparing her feelings all this time. You haven't spared nobody's feelings. She can tell. She can feel your energy. She can tell you're not into her. A woman knows when a man is not into her. And you, sir, are not into her. So just tell her and spare us, spare us. We know you're going to go ahead and ride the season out to the end to get your check or whatever y'all do. You're going to ride the season out to the end. He don't want to hurt her feelings, Cliff, but he's already hurting her feelings because she already know that he's not into her. So now it's like you're not even at the point where you're at hurt feelings. You're at the point of playing games. So you're trying to be the nice guy, but all the stuff you say in your confessional, you don't say to her face. So this is the part. He's sparing her feelings now while it's actually, well, not now. When it was happening live, he was sparing her feelings. But when she goes back and watches this and shows them in the room together, and then he goes to the confessional and says, I don't feel it. I just can't. She's going to be like, well, dang, why he didn't just come out the confessional, which is usually like in the same room. When they're recording, they around the corner, they in the building somewhere. Like, I'm sure at some point she probably can even hear him. Like, why don't you just tell me? Maybe I'm just pretending like it's me. If it was me, she keeps saying, give it to me, I can take it. And he don't want to be like all the other guys who did the same thing to her. But hey, I don't know. She even tried to take him on the date to the little workout thing. The ninja warrior type thing, and she was trying her best and all that. She couldn't climb up to the hoop and go up the ramp. Now, if Ryan liked her, he would have went up and pushed up on that booty and helped her go up. Like, why you didn't lift her up? At least make her feel. That could have turned into some chemistry. But he's already checked out. So I was like, why he ain't go help push her booty up? Like, why he ain't get her up to the top? Like, y'all could have. That was just okay. He could have pushed her booty up and they might have been getting it in and maybe he would have changed his mind. But he had already checked out because he's on a dating app, swiping and all that good stuff. Okay, Zach and Michaela. They played really aggressive bubble ball. I'm like, so much. I was like, oh, that looks fun. Let me look that up. So I'm looking it up. So I'm planning it for me and my boo. It looked like a lot of fun. She was trying to do the Dougie in the ball, which didn't look like she knows what she was doing, but maybe, I don't know. So they were talking about their favorite moments. Hers was when he came back after having COVID. His was at the wedding when he was dancing in front of her, and then all his boys came behind and danced. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to look at y'all comments, but I'm also trying to read and get through this because I'm over time. So she also went to lunch with her sister, and she started kind of like explaining the situation of things that went wrong with her and Zach and how she learned how he doesn't like how she reacts. I mean, she made that thing real mild. She didn't say, I custom slam out. And he don't like when I custom slam out. She didn't say that. She was like, and I realize I have to change how I act. And so, but the sister already knows. Because she was like, she has seen major growth in her. She's getting mature over the process. She has used to act out of her emotion, which we saw that. She's being more vulnerable and expressive in the last couple of weeks. We saw that. Her sister was like, well, are you in deep like? She was like, no, girl, I'm in love. I love some Zach. And she was like, where you love him? Y'all gonna have the babies? And she's like, okay. So they put together a scrapbook of their wedding, had a good time doing that together. And they both seem willing to do the work. That's what I've kind of like put together. He said he was loving her for the rest of his life. In his little poem that he wrote, his funny poem, and she did a serious poem. He said he was loving her for the rest of her life. So that means, like, did he just say he loved her? Like, has he officially told her that yet? I don't know. But okay. So I'm done with them. They ain't really have nothing this week. Jose and Rachel, I have nothing on the paper. all they did was talk about how she wants to travel. His definition of travel is going across Texas. Hers is like going out of the country. And then she said, "Oh yeah, I'm on a teacher schedule, so in the summertime, sometime Rachel's different. So I'm gonna be bored and I might get an attitude, and you better not say nothing to me." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So you know you're gonna have attitude already because you get bored." Okay. That's a whole nother issue. But she decided to stay with her aggressive man. So uh, be with it, what they may. Gil and Merla. So I like them now, y'all. I like them because, he's looking for a new apartment. He knows what his lady wants. She wants something brand new, but he said he don't want to go around the garage. He don't want the concierge. He don't want to do the high rise. I get it. We just moved from a condo where you have to go round and round and round and round and the park to the top, with a toddler. That's a lot. But so I get what he's saying with that, but he also knows who his woman is. So he's like, if she wants the high rise and it has to be brand new, then that's what she's gonna get. Um, Her friend FaceTimes her and asks her about him and says, how's it like living with a frugal person? And she was defending her man. Actually, he frugal about the good things. I was like, okay. She just went down the laundry list of things that she liked. She bragged about how he picked a great place for them to live, how he's so patient, he's social, she's not. But one thing that was weird, she was like, yeah, his friend bought a house. And he was like, let's go over to the house. And she was like, no, let's meet him at a restaurant. Sis, he just bought a house. Why would you meet him at a restaurant? He wants to show y'all his new house. Like, I could see if you had COVID issues where you're like, COVID, I don't want to be there. But other than that, why would you not want to go to the house? That's what you do when you buy houses. I don't know. Okay, so then he went out with his friend and he was like, are there any red flags? And he said, well, she throws tantrums when she don't get what she want. But I know how she is. She said she's not changing her spending habits for nobody. And he said, well, is that thing that's worrisome? The friend was like, she's got certain spending habits, but she deserves it based on how she lives. And the friend didn't see nothing wrong with it. But they also talked about, which I thought was so funny, that she has done a total 180 and now is walking the dog that she said, no, you better pay your little dog walker for. She walking the dog and now she said she want to get her own dog. She want her own dog. What y'all think about that? Okay, so that's all I have for this week. I want to address some of y'all's comments. One of the somebody said, so if you done, you can go ahead and head out. This is just for the extra people who's actually on live, who said it's going to be disgusting if they find out Ryan was on the app the whole time. But they be back there, hitting folks up and don't ever tell you they have an issue, but they go get what they want. See, that issue I don't like. That issue I don't like, okay? So that's why I have a problem. Maybe I'm reflecting on my own past trauma. I'll take that, but don't not say something so I can't do nothing about it. So you can stay stuck in your way and keep doing what you want on the side. That is what I have a problem with. You cannot like somebody, but tell them, communicate. You can have an issue, but communicate it. And don't have made up issues like Johnny where he be like, well, she don't cook. And Pastor Cal was like, so did she cook or not? And he's like, well, yeah, but we did it together. Okay, you said she didn't cook at all. So which one is it? See, Johnny and Ryan are very similar. There are those serial daters who get on my last nerves, who think they know everything. You're looking for this perfect person, like Pastor Cal said, that does not exist. You need to have a funeral for that person that you think is perfect. That does not exist. So, again, maybe I'm going off my own personal experience. Please let me know. Have y'all ever dated a serial dater? And I think, Maylin, I think the reason why Ryan is trying to hold on. Oh, absolutely. Production is absolutely encouraging them to stick it to. Did you see how Pastor Cal in the episode was like, and turn to her and say that you're going to push through your emotion? I'm like, oh. So if Johnny was ready to bounce, y'all were like, no, push through your situation. You can do it. And I understand sometimes in marriage you do need somebody to push. You do need your counselor to talk you through things. But he was just like, we need to talk before we talk to Pastor Cal. What y'all need to talk about? What y'all need to talk about before you talk to the counselor? The counselor is who's going to help you. But you're right, Cliff. He did get matched with somebody that he ghosted years ago. That should have been the red flag that this ain't gonna work. Because if he never noticed you before, unless you made a drastic physical appearance, like you used to be real big and then you got real skinny, or you like big girls and she was real skinny and she got real thick and now you notice her. But if she looks and acts exactly the same and there was nothing that differentiated you from the past to now, why he all of a sudden gonna want her now? He not gonna want her. He was probably shallow back then, the same way he is now. And like his auntie said, well, you gonna be single? And he said, well, I am single all this time because I haven't compromised. Have you not compromised, or have you not realized what really requires a relation, what happens in marriage, and what I don't listen, I ain't no relationship guru or no counselor, but I'm just saying this. I done been out there in these streets and I know some things, okay? So okay, y'all, I'm gonna stop talking because I'm at 20 minutes and I'm sleepy and I gotta go to work in the morning and I love y'all. So everybody does want someone they like. Cliff, you're absolutely right, and he has the right to do that. That's why he should not have signed up for Married at First Sight. If you went on 100 dates by yourself and this is the 101st date, it ain't about to change. You're gonna find something wrong and you're gonna make an excuse to get out of it, the same way Ryan and Johnny are doing now. I know, because I used to be that person. All right, good night. Talk to you.